Hello, and welcome back to a new video by the devscorch platform. My name is Johan, and I will be your host in this video. Alright, so in this video, we're actually going to talk about something that's a little bit more serious. Probably content you didn't subscribe for, but this is actually something that I find really important. And that's the implementation of social login, or social authentication. So in the past, I've worked on a few social networks as well, and they always wanted, the first thing they want is like, oh, we need to add social login, like Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Google Plus or something. Doesn't even exist anymore. And when I asked them why, they always like, yeah, it's easy for the user. So they only have like one button press login, and they don't have to register the information with us and everything, and that's gonna be really easy for them. And I always was like, okay, fine, why not? In 2019, I actually started to build a completely new application, and it was called Place. And Place was actually an app which allowed you to share 30-second videos of gameplay, so a little bit like TikTok. And the coolest thing about this was actually that we had like our own login system, but we also the CEO and the CEO and all the other idiots, they actually also wanted like social login, because with social login, people don't have to store their information with us, and it makes it easier for them to get into the app directly, right? So, okay, it's easy for us because we had to implement less, and it's easy for the user, right? But when I was reading the developers documentation of Facebook, like the FB SDK stuff, right? I actually got scared. It's actually crazy how much information Facebook actually tries to get from the applications which use FB SDK. And it actually gives, like Facebook in this example, also the power to know which apps you use, where you log in, what you're doing, and so on and so on. So when I was finished with reading the Facebook documentation, I actually started to read Twitter authentication documentation as well. And it was with Twitter the same thing, and with Google Plus as well. And that way I actually got anti-social login. I don't implement it anymore. If I have like clients who say like, oh, we want you to implement that, I send them away. I don't do that. And the reason for that is because I really think that big companies like Facebook, Google, Twitter, PayPal, so as you can see in this list, Yahoo, WeChat, they don't need to know what you're doing in applications or in which applications you are doing your stuff. I truly believe I truly believe that. I'm somebody who I'm not really private. I mean, I have a YouTube channel, everybody knows who I am. But I don't think that really big companies need to know what I'm doing inside an application. So for example, I'm now also developing the devscorch iOS application, so you can actually watch courses and stuff in the future on your phone, on an iPad. It's not going to have social login. It's just going to have login with email and a password. And the reason for that is that I believe that Facebook, Google, and all those other companies don't need to know what you are doing in the devscorch app. If you want to watch a course on UIKit, you can. They don't need to know that. If you want to do something else, they don't need to know that. And that's why I'm really anti-social login. And if you look at how many social login systems there are these days, right? You have like, out of my head, like all the biggest social networks have like a login system, which a lot of applications actually use. I saw like an application a few weeks ago, it got reviewed, and they had like over 40 different authentication systems. So they had like Facebook, Alipay, Google, Apple. They had like Samsung authentication stuff, and so on and so on. And at some point, I'm really like, so that means if you have like 40 different users, right, and every user uses another system to log in, like another social login system, that means that 40 different companies have information about the user. So for example, if you decide that you don't want to use Facebook anymore for login, but you're going to use Google or Coco Talk or Line, LinkedIn, and so on, this actually means that all those companies are gonna get your information in some way. And that's why I'm really anti-social login. I don't use it myself, I don't implement it, I just use a password and an email. And yeah, so I really wanted to make this video. This is something I find really important, and I think that a lot of people don't really think about. And there's also one more thing that I think is also really important as a freelancer, as an entrepreneur. I mean, that's like the buzzword these days. Or you're an entrepreneur, but doesn't matter. That's for another video. What I really think is that when you have like your own login system, is that people, they trust you to store their data with you, and you can actually do something with the data. So for example, when something gives you like if someone gives you like an email address and they actually subscribe to your newsletter, you actually have like a mailing list with potential people you can actually directly contact. And a lot of times when you work with like social login, and I mean, a lot of people I know, they actually use fake email addresses for their socials, or they use like those email addresses which expire like in like an hour or so. So that means that if everybody is going to use that, and they're actually going to try to log in or register on your website using social login, the chances on getting false information from users is really big, right? So I truly believe that if you are like an entrepreneur or like a business owner, and you want to give like your users like a real idea, or you actually really want to give them a service, just let them log in or register with an email and password. Just get their information instead of sharing it with like really big companies like Facebook, Google, Apple, and so on. So yeah, that was a little bit my view on social login. I wanted to make this video for 3 or 4 months now. I recorded it like 4 times already, but that is more because I never was really sure what to say till now. And yeah, so let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you agree with me, or do you don't care about privacy, or you think like, no, social login is perfect? I'm the kind of person who really believes that everybody has a right to its own opinion. I don't believe there are wrong opinions at all. I think that everybody has like their own thoughts. So yeah, just let me know. And yeah, I hope that you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time.